Hey polish fans, it's Caroline again and welcome to another video here at Wildflower Lacquer. In today's video we're jumping into my first video for the seasonal collaboration. This is for the fall seasonal rack for 2023. And make sure to check out the list down below of all of the other participants and their channels. There's going to be a lot of really beautiful fall polishes on all of those channels. So for my fall rack I did try to have them color organized, but over on this side where you can't really see, it's getting a little bit convoluted once we get into some of the multi-chromes and shifting shimmer polishes that are difficult to pinpoint a base. And you're going to notice a few up here in my what should be burgundies that are actually more of a berry base with a red shimmer. But we're going to be going over a little over 20 polishes today, and then we're going to come back for parts 2, 3, and maybe even 4 for more of these polishes as the month goes on. But here's what we're going to be looking at today. We are actually going to start over here with a potion polish, and this one is called New England Back Roads. This is one of those polishes that I did initially put in with the reds and the burgundies. As you can see there are these flakies that have a pretty predominant red flash to them. Also in the sliding you can see that gold reflective glitter quite nicely. So here is New England Back Roads with 2 coats and a glossy top coat. Now this one is pretty thirsty. This one, like I said, does have a glossy top coat, but it still does have a bit of texture. So when I go to wear this in a full mani, I'll probably end up putting a glitter smoother on top of it first and then my glossy top coat. But as you can see, you get a lot of those beautiful flakies out, and a lot of that texture is going to be that reflective gold glitter that you're seeing very nicely there in the bottle. Now when it dries down to this duller finish, it is harder to see those, but with that glitter smoother and a glossy top coat, I think they'll reflect nicely. In fact, even right there, you can see those starting to twinkle away in the light. So that one was 2 coats of New England Back Roads by Potion Polish. Next up, we are jumping right into another potion polish. There's actually quite a few of these on my fall seasonal rack, and this one is called Forsaken. This one is another one that was really hard to pinpoint the main color on because I do believe this has one of those black to red multi-chrome pigments in it. You can see that red glow around the corners of the bottle, but then on the face of it you're sort of seeing a deep purple. In person it's almost a black, there's a burgundy tone to it, and then of course a berry tone as well. So this is another very complex fall-esque polish, and here it is in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. This one is nice and glossy with that top coat, and look how beautiful and vampy that is on the nail. This is going to be one of those polishes that is very shifty depending on the lighting that you're in. Like you saw in the bottle, there are all of these amazing colors going on, from black to berry to red, plus you do get the scattering of those holographic flakies, adding a nice twinkle to this one. So that was 2 coats of Forsaken by Potion Polish. Next up, we have a pretty new addition to my collection. This one is Wildflower Lacquer's Mighty Mouse Outside Chicago. This one was recently unboxed from my haul from Polish Pickup for June, and this is another one that sort of falls into a reddish polish that has a berry type base. It has a beautiful shifting shimmer in it. As you can see, you've got all of these darker berry to burgundy tones. You've got a bit of red popping up, some pink, and some gold. There's even some green at extreme angles. I also really love the particle size to this one. It is really sparkly. And here's that one in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. Look at the glow on this one. This one was kind of a surprise for me to pick out, but I'm definitely glad that I did end up grabbing it. This is another one that's going to be perfect for fall. Love all the shifts that you're seeing, and of course that amazing sparkle. So that was Wildflower Lacquer's Mighty Mouse Outside Chicago. Next up we have an Essie, and this one is called Wrapped in Rubies. This is another one that I thought would be just perfect for fall. It actually ends up taking on somewhat of a pearl finish on the nail. What you're seeing in the bottle is that sort of a berry leaning burgundy tone with that gold shimmer. And here it is in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. So by comparison, this of course has far less glow and pizzazz than the indies previous to it, but it is still a very nice color. As you can see, you've got that sort of a pearl kind of metallic-y look on the nail. I love the slightly dusty quality to this one as well. I think this one will look gorgeous on the nail. Might even be one of those ones that I try with a matte top coat. So that was 2 coats of Essie's Wrapped in Rubies. Next up we have an Orly, and this one is called Smolder. And this one I believe I don't remember if I found it at Marshall's or if someone else found it at Marshall's and I ended up finding it in a possibly Goodwill bag. I honestly don't remember, but I'm definitely happy to have this one in my collection because again, we're dealing with a very deep tone of a, well, smoldering red. And then look at that shimmer. So the base of this one is actually very dark, and then it is full of this really beautiful prominent red glow. And here's that one in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. Yeah, this one has such a nice vampy tone to it. I love the glow to this one. This one also dries to a beautiful finish with 2 coats and a glossy top coat. It almost has this wine tone to it, whereas when you compare that to the one from Wildflower Lacquer, you're getting more of like true red to a pink tone of maybe fuchsia. So a very different look on the nail. Another one that I'm excited to try. So that was 2 coats of Orly's Smolder. Next up, I am digging into some of my older Bee's Knees lacquer. This one is Dragon Heartstring, and this is one that has a UP sibling shimmer in it. You can see that shifting beautifully here in this sheer burgundy base. You've got that very prominent emerald green that shifts to blue and even purple at the edges. This is gorgeous. Now, I believe this is one of their polishes where they did offer an Unbe, a cream polish, to go under this so that you could save your polish if you were going for a very opaque look. But let's go ahead and see how it looks in just 2 coats with a glossy top coat. This one is nice and glossy with that top coat, but as you can see in 2 coats, it is still pretty sheer. But I did decide to go ahead and leave it at the 2 coats because this is probably how I would actually end up attempting to wear it, if not over a cream, to give it a boost in opacity. So I probably end up matching it with something like Orly's Persistent Memory, which is actually on my rack up here somewhere coming up in the next row. I think that would be a nice good match of a deep burgundy, sort of brown leaning color to go under this amazing shimmer with that red base. So I love the shifts on this one. This is another one that I think depending on your lighting, that shimmer is going to shift beautifully. So that was 2 coats of Bee's Knees Lacquer Dragon Heartstring. Next up we have one from Bluebird Lacquer, and this one is called Centaur of Attention. This one I ended up grabbing for Polish Pickup Rewind a few years ago because everyone was raving about this color, and I'm definitely glad that I ended up grabbing it. It has this amazing deep red hollow base. Look at it there on the nail. I believe this is 2 coats with a glossy top coat, although the swatches that are done here on the nail rings were done a number of years ago by now. But this one is another very beautiful one. Look how vampy that's going to be on the nail. Yeah, this is gorgeous. And I have yet to wear it, so hopefully I can get it on my nails this season. But that was Bluebird Lacquer's Centaur of Attention. The next polish is Bluebird Lacquer's Rainstorming Session, and this one is a magnetic. So this one is interesting because in the bottle, if you leave it unmagnetized, this is the color that you're going to see. You've got this beautiful orange, coppery, golden red. There's these blue multichrome flakies as well as a hollow silver flaky in here. This is so incredibly unique, but let's see how it looks magnetized. Look at all that color. It pulls up into the magnetic line and you're left with this blackened base. So this is one of the super unique polishes on my fall rack. Look, you can see all of those amazing flakies there once the magnetic particle is pulled up into the magnetic line. And here's that one in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. Look how interesting this one is. So you get that flash of the red, burgundy, orange, gold that pulls up there. Then you're left with that blackened base where you can see all of those silver holographic flakies, and then those multichrome flakies you can see nicely throughout the entire polish as well. This is actually one of those polishes that I might try wearing on a few nails unmagnetized because I am just super drawn to how it looks unmagnetized. Even though it's incredible magnetized, I do really like this one in its unmagnetized state as well. Yeah, this is one of the most unique polishes I think I have in probably my entire collection. It's just very incredible. So this one I can't wait to try as well. That one is Bluebird Lacquer's Rainstorming Session. Next up, we have one from Poetry Cowgirl, and this one is Majestic AF. This one I've actually had in my collection for quite a long time, and I don't remember if I ended up getting it through a D-stash or if I got it when she was having a sale on her site, but it is a really unusual polish. This one is another that's very hard to pinpoint the main color on because part of the multichromatic shimmer that's in here looks predominantly like this deep rust when it's sitting here in the bottle, but the actual base of it I think is kind of this deep plum. Then of course, as you can see all of these amazing colors, it is full of crushed multichrome flakies and hollow glitter. Like I said, this is one of the most unique polishes. Again, pulling a lot of pretty unique polishes for this rack. I mean, look at all the colors. So here's that one in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. There on the nail, I think maybe you can kind of see that deep plum around the edges that I'm talking about, but again, you're mainly seeing that rusty red tone, which is why I ended up putting it together with my reds and burgundies. But look at all those colors. You can see the multichrome pigment shifting to that gold and orange, then it deepens up when it's facing a different light source. You get all of that holographic glitter, and again with those flakies. Just such an incredibly unique polish. So that is 2 coats of Poetry Cowgirl Majestic AF. Next up is one from Orly. This is a cream called Persistent Memory. This is the one that I was talking about putting underneath Bee's Knees Lacquer Dragon Heartstring. I do think that that polish would make a really beautiful base, but I also want to try to wear this on its own because this is a delicious color. Oh my goodness. So this is one of those colors that is a burgundy, but there is a lot of dark brown in it. It has a richness to it and that brown lean kind of along the lines of a burnt red, and it is incredible. Cannot wait to put this one on my nails. So here it is in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. This is another formula that just went on so smoothly. I love this color. I mean, again, look at that. It's one of those colors that I feel would be flattering on a lot of different skin tones. Again, I mean, pretty unique to my collection. I know it's just a cream, so it's not that exciting, but a lot of the other colors that I pulled that I almost felt were in this same vein either run a lot redder or a lot more burgundy or softer. So this is actually one of the darkest and richest colors of the bunch. Very excited to put this one on my nails. So that was Orly's Persistent Memory in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. Next up, we have one from China Glaze. This one is called Modern Auburn. This one came out in a fall collection, I think a few years ago by now. I do think I have similar ones, that is for sure, but I ended up finding quite a few of them at the Dollar Tree when they had China Glazes, and I'm very glad that I was able to pick this one up. It is another cream. And here it is in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. As you can see, it's kind of in the same family as the one from Orly, but as you can see as well, hopefully on your screen, the one from Orly is a couple shades darker and has a lot more of that chocolatey tone to it, whereas the one from China Glaze has a bit more of a deep rosy color, kind of like a rosewood tone. So while this is definitely in the same color family, I saw enough of a difference that I wanted to have both on my rack, and another one that I feel is very flattering on the nail. So this one is China Glaze's Modern Auburn. Next up, we have another Essie. This one is Bedrock and Roll. Now, this is another one that I've had in my collection for a number of years. I think I got this sometime in either 2019 or 2020, and yikes, I have still yet to wear it. So hopefully this season I can try this on my nails. This one is a very interesting shade of kind of a deep terracotta or clay. In the bottle, at least in this lighting, you're kind of seeing a pinch of an orange quality to this, but it's actually a very deep brown burgundy. Look at that. So this is absolutely gorgeous. It's another color that I think is very flattering. So again, very excited to try this one. Hopefully I can get it on my fingers this season. But that one was Essie's Bedrock and Roll. Next up, we have an OPI, and this one is called I Love You, Just Be Cusco. This one is a pretty unique shade of red, and it is a beautiful cream. So here's that one in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. Sorry about that. I think I got something there in the top coat when I went to apply that, but this is one that is a pinch deeper on the nail than it's showing up on camera. My camera's wanting to brighten up that red a pinch, but it is a lovely shade, and like I said, a rather unique tone of red in my collection. When you compare it to the deeper tones of these browner burgundies, it definitely has a pop of color by comparison. But if you were to compare it, for instance, to the red that I'm wearing, it definitely has, at least in person, much more of a dusty depth to it, whereas a brighter red just doesn't have. And this is another one that I'm very excited to try this season. Hopefully I can get a number of these on my nails before winter rolls around. But I get the feeling I might be rolling a few of these over into my winter rack. But that one was OPI's I Love You, Just Be Cusco. Next up is one from Wildflower Lacquer, and this one is Brick House. This is another beautiful cream in this beautiful brick leaning red with that dusty tone to it that I absolutely adore. This is one of those polishes that I did have in my little comparison that I posted on my Instagram account when I was trying to see if I had any that were too close to Pure Ice's and Vogue. This is it in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. As you can see, compared to our deeper colors and especially that red, this one is firmly in that dusty brick red, and it is simply gorgeous. This one has a lot of brown in it as well, and again, I feel like these kinds of colors are just very flattering, absolutely gorgeous. So that is 2 coats of Wildflower Lacquer Brick House. Next up, we have another in that brick brown color family, and this one is Ella and Mila's Wanderer. Like I said, I have a type with this and we have quite a few to look at. This one again has that sort of dusty quality to it, but this one is about a shade lighter than the one from Wren. So here it is in 2 coats with a glossy top coat, and as you can see by comparison, there is a bit more richness to the one from Wren, a little bit more of that brick coloration, and a little bit more dusty quality to this one from Ella and Mila. You also get that sort of verge into a mauve coloration, which I also absolutely adore. So there's 2 coats of Ella and Mila's Wanderer. Next up, we have another favorite of mine. This one I have actually worn and I really enjoyed it on. This one is Orly's Act Your Shoe Size, and this one I believe I got completely as a fluke. I think it came in one of my Goodwill bags and I absolutely fell in love with it. So here it is on the nail in what I think again is 2 coats with a glossy top coat. This is another one of those brown colors, this time with a slight sheen on the nail. And yeah, this one was just, I don't know, it amazed me on the nail because in the bottle even, it's not that exciting to look at, but I found it so flattering on the nail. Excited to try to wear it again. So that is 2 coats of Orly's Act Your Shoe Size. Next up, we have one from Sally Hansen, and this one is Beat, Pray, Love. And this is the pinkest, I think, of these mauvey brown brick colors. Here it is in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. As you can see on here, it dries a pinch darker, at least in person. It's got a pinch of a berry quality to it, kind of like a dusty, deep rose color. So as you can see, compared to the previous one from Ella and Mila, that one's got a lot more of like a milk chocolatey light brown, whereas the one from Sally Hansen has more pink in it. But this is yet another color family that I feel is just so incredibly flattering, and I love this kind of color. So that one is Sally Hansen's Beat, Pray, Love. Next up is one from Trust Fund Beauty, and this one is called Boisterous. This is one that I ended up getting on eBay. The seller was actually selling a lot of these Trust Fund Beauties for about $5 a piece, and I think they might have been having a buy 2 get 1 free or something along those lines. So I was able to grab quite a few, and I mean, look at this color. This is astounding. So the base of this one is another one that's kind of hard to pinpoint, but there along the edge, you see that sort of a deep caramel orange? That's what the base is. And then you get the depth of color of that richer tone that you're seeing, sort of a deeper chocolate with the red tone from the shimmer, I think. And then of course, amazing, look at that blue to pink to red shimmer. I mean, this is incredible. I really want to get this one on my nails this season. Now this one is one of the more sheerer formulas, so I might end up using this over a matching cream undie. Now which one would I use? Actually, you know what, I might use this over Orly's Act Your Shoe Size. It's got a similar lightish but richer color. That might work nicely. So here's Trust Fund Beauty's Boisterous in 3 coats with a glossy top coat. I mean, look at all the colors that you're seeing. This one is Can I say incredible one more time? It's amazing. This one has so many different shifts, so many different colors. For this not being what I consider like an indie polish, I think as Trust Fund Beauty more of like a boutique brand. I mean, they did an amazing job with this formula. Look at all those shifts. Amazing. I might actually have to put this on my nails next. It is incredible. So there was 3 coats with a glossy top coat of Trust Fund Beauty's Boisterous. Next up, we have one from Rogue Lacquer, and this one is Unbe Leafable. And this is our first holographic multichrome of the bunch. And look at all the colors that you're seeing. This one seems to have come out in a fall theme, and I mean, you can tell it fits beautifully. You get all of these shades of brown to cinnamon to gold. There's the holographic component in here, of course, adding rainbows, and I think there's also a pink or red flaky there if you can see past the shimmer. I mean, this is another one that has so many different colors, so many rainbows. So here's that one in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. This one ends up coming off as sort of a mid-tone darker brown with a red pinch to it. And I mean, you can see that there glowing nicely in that shimmer. You're going to get more gold at certain angles, more red depending on the lighting, and then of course that amazing hollow flare. So this is another one that I have had for a number of years, hoping to get it on my nails this season. That is Rogue Lacquer's Unbe Leafable. Next up, we have a lighter shade, this time from Ethereal, and this one is called Dinah. But look at this! Look at those shifts! I cannot even with this. So this one I thought would be an interesting one to try in the fall season. It is an orange base, but much lighter than a lot of the other tones that I've been pulling. And I think you can see why I pulled this for my fall rack. I mean, look at those colors. It's incredible. This is another one of those polishes that is astoundingly unique, just astoundingly unique. You have this deep burnt peach base in a jelly formula, so it will be on the sheer side. And then look at that. You have this very prominent green shift that shifts to a bright pink. You've got blue and purple, fuchsia, magenta, plus the reflective glitter. I mean, this one is amazing, just amazing. So here's that one in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. Now this is another one that does have reflective glitter in it. It doesn't dry as textured as I feel like this one from Potion Polish did, and I think it might just be a difference in maybe how much reflective glitter was used, but this one, as you can see, is still a little bit on the squishy side. So I think depending on your nail length and application, you might want to go for a 3rd, but I thought it was beautiful in 2. This is probably how I would end up wearing it. That shift in here, you guys, is knock dead gorgeous. It is simply amazing. So that one is another that I am super excited to try. If I don't get this on my nails this season, I might have to pull this out for spring, but that was Ethereal's Dinah. Next up, we have an older OPI. This one is called Coral Reef, and this is one that I believe I got in a Facebook de-stash of a lot of older OPIs as well as other salon polishes, and look at the hollow on this. This was one that I was actually very surprised to find from OPI because I feel like they don't really do hollows very often. They're more well known for their creams and maybe shimmer polishes. So I was very happy to find this one, and it's an orange. So this is another that I'm very excited to try this season. Here it is on the nail in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. This is another one that I do feel falls somewhere between a 2 and 3 coater depending on your nail length and application, but look at that hollow. How incredible is that to be coming from a mainstream? This was a very awesome find. I love this tone. And then because of that amazing hollow flare, you're going to get rainbows on the nail. The tone of this orange kind of has a red lean to it, but it is still firmly in the orange family. Look at that. So this is another one that I can't wait to try this season. That was OPI's Coral Reef. Just a couple more, you guys. The next one is another magnetic, this time from by Viana. This one is Tangerine Beat, and this one is a stunning burnt orange. So this one has amazing holographic components in it as well as magnetic. So let's go ahead and see it magnetized. Ooh, Look at that. So it completely changes up the polish when you magnetize it. You get this sort of a tiger's eye effect, which is absolutely incredible. I don't have another polish like this in my collection. This was a must grab for the month of polish pickup, and it's another that I definitely want to get on my nails this season. Here it is on the nail in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. Yeah, just look at that. This is another one that I think you could definitely wear unmagnetized, but I absolutely love how it looks magnetized with that dance across the nail, and you get that deeper tone, which I think lends itself to the fall season. So another must wear. I gotta get this on my nails this season. That is by Viana's Tangerine Beat. And the last one for part 1 is another potion polish, and this one is Pumpkin Toddy. This one I recently hauled, although I did end up purchasing this earlier this year, I think back in February. I got a lot of fall polishes then, you guys, which worked out perfectly once I ended up doing my haul for that, because I immediately added a number of them to my fall rack. So this is another one that has some reflective glitter in it, all in this deep burnt orange base. So here's that one in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. Look at the interesting tone of this one. It's similar in its range of orange to Tangerine Beat from by Viana, but this one is a different formula, and you get a little bit of a scattering of some red micro glitter in there as well. Now this one, because of its reflective glitter nature, is going to dry textured. This one is with a glossy top coat, but as you can see, it still looks pretty thirsty. So very similarly to the other one by Potion Polish, what I'll end up doing when I wear it is apply a glitter smoother over it and then a nice smooth glossy top coat. But I love this color. It is simply gorgeous. So that last one was 2 coats of Potion Polish Pumpkin Toddy. And there we have it. That was part 1 of my fall seasonal rack. Again, make sure to check out the list down below for all of the other participants. If you're coming from one of the other channels, hi, my name is Caroline and I love nail polish. Make sure to check back for more of these beautiful fall polishes. I'll have at least 3 more videos coming up for that later on in the month. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me and looking at beautiful polish. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your weekend, and I will see you in that next one.